Hi and welcome to ThriverTV, the place to break free from narcissistic abuse with quantum tools and understandings. So today's ThriverTV episode is a really important question, and it is, am I the narcissist? And so many people in the community ask this. And the reason why they ask this is because in and during narcissistic abuse and after narcissistic abuse, they find themselves behaving in ways and thinking and feeling that they really never thought that they'd be capable of. And also too, there is so much that the narcissist projects onto the people they're abusing, all of the narcissist disowned inner wounds that they project on you and line you up with, that it is so confusing. There's so much gaslighting and stuff that goes on. It's really hard to know who's who in the zoo, who's the bad person, who's not the bad person. Where do you stop? Where do I start? The whole thing becomes so toxic and it becomes so enmeshed. So to start off, let's really qualify what is narcissism. Narcissism is unconsciousness, and what unconsciousness means is I do not accept that I'm the generative source of my own experience. So what that means is that rather than responding to life from a solid, whole, adult, integrated self, I'm reacting to life in ways that are maladapted, that are inappropriate, and they're coming from hurt. And hurt people. So when people are triggered into survival programs and young unhealed wounds, they're in reaction, which means that when you're in survival, you are only concerned about trying to get some relief from the trauma that's highly activated, which means that you are going to be inconsiderate to your environment and other people. And narcissism really is about the ends justifies the means, because it's like an antelope that's on a jungle plain and there's a tiger lining you up. You just want to get to safety. That's what happens in unhealed traumas when they're triggered. And this is the behavior of NPDs, of narcissists, and it's also the behavior of people that are still stuck in victimization, that haven't woken up from the trance yet. And the truth is, when we're in narcissistic abuse, we are getting significantly triggered because all of our young unhealed parts in our survival programs, all the parts of ourselves that are not yet up-leveled to wholeness, that are not a self-generative source of love, approval, and or security, they are all gaps. And they're unfinished, unhealed emotional business that we're carrying. And narcissists target those gaps profoundly, because that's what narcissists do. And that's why narcissists are really aides, angels in disguise, posing as abusers, because what they're doing is they're making our unconscious stuff that we may have always lived with, it was our normal, we'd missed a lot of signposts, and we get it smashed so heavily by narcissists that it all comes up into our conscious awareness, so that finally we can heal these unhealed parts of ourselves. That's the gift of narcissistic abuse. But until we've woken up to that, what happens is we are triggered. We're in survival programs. We're like that antelope being targeted by that lion, and we are reacting in pure terror to try to survive. So it's very likely that we're going to be lashing back. We're going to be saying things that we'd never thought we'd be capable of saying. We're going to be doing low blows. We might be lying. We might be tit for tatting. We're trying to one up the narcissist. We're trying to stay a step ahead. We might be being hyper vigilant and tracking them and stalking them ourselves and doing all sorts of things. And all of this is the handing of our power over to the narcissist, who has hit and energized these wounds. And because we're not yet self-partnering and meeting these wounds ourselves, we're holding the narcissist responsible for them and trying to control and fix and change the narcissist to heal them for us. And we're in trouble when we're doing that, and it's really not working out well at all. And we can be really excused for thinking this is narcissism, that I'm acting like a narcissist. And the truth is, we are unconscious. And when we're unconscious, we're capable of things that we never thought we'd be capable of in our survival programs. That's what's going on in narcissistic abuse. So what's the difference? What is the difference between being triggered and acting unconsciously and even narcissistically, or being narcissistic personality disorder? What's the difference? There's a huge difference. Somebody who's narcissistic personality disordered has run out of room to evolve. They're not capable of evolving their own inner being and up-leveling their young wounds and their survival programs. And the reason is because the narcissist, somebody who is narcissistic personality disordered, is suffering a false self takeover. They have literally rendered their true self, their inner being, null and void. They've even self-annihilated it because they have decided that that part of themselves is incapable of having love, approval and security. It doesn't work. And they've created a false self, a fictitious character as the buffer. That's the replacement. And the replacement as a false self needs an insatiable amount of energy, attention, which is narcissistic supply from outside of itself, to hold its significance, to hold its reality as the emotional buffer to the inner screaming wounds that are never going away, that are not being attended to. So that's the narcissist plight. That's the portrait of a narcissist. So a narcissist will not go inside to unravel and heal and meet and up-level and evolve original wounding. The narcissist will not come out of unconsciousness, because as far as the narcissist is concerned, to go inside and meet, to self-partner, always means dropping the ego. The barriers to that, the false self, the mask, the defense systems. We can't self-partner unless we're going to get humble and real. And that renders a false self irrelevant. A narcissist won't do that, because as far as they're concerned, their false self is their entire identity. So to do that would mean self-annihilation. It's just not going to happen. So, you not being a narcissist, what it means is, no matter how irrational, childish, nasty, reactionary, crazy and mental you've been, no matter how much you've maladapted and even lied and do things trying to survive with your survival programs heavily triggered, doesn't matter. That does not mean you're a narcissist. It means that you've been trying to exist with inner unhealed programs, trying to control your environment to take away your pain, and it hasn't been working out well at all. If you're willing to awaken and say, no matter how I've been or what I've done or where I've ended up, if I'm willing to stop holding another adult responsible for my own state of being, and I'm willing to meet myself, wounds and all, unconditionally with love, to evolve myself beyond these subconscious programs that have been creating me as powerless, and I am willing to take 100% radical responsibility to realize that I can't change anything in my life to change my life other than come inside myself and change myself, because that's where my power is. If you are willing to do that, you are not a narcissist. You are a being on your way to evolution, freedom, and liberation of giving up your false self and realizing that ego and fear and defenses and masks don't work. They don't give us genuine, authentic happiness or success. And realizing that there's another way, which is the awakening out of the trance of unconsciousness on the way to consciousness. If you are willing to go for that, you are not a narcissist, because that is something that a narcissist will never ever do. I wrote an article some time ago, and I'm sharing the link to that with this episode, which was the narcissist and the codependent, two sides of the same coin. And it's a really, really important article because, as far as I'm concerned, there is only one difference between an unconscious codependent and a narcissist. And that is that the unconscious codependent is willing to wake up out of unconsciousness and move towards consciousness, to up-level their inner being, to become a conscious, effective, integrated, grown-up human. That's the only difference. So I really hope that this has helped you understand this and stop beating yourself up and stop analyzing it and obsessing about it and saying, well, you know, well, I did that and that means I'm a narcissist. Cut yourself a break. Please know that all of us in narcissistic abuse, trying to survive within the container of our unhealed emotional programs, acted atrociously because we were being 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds trying to survive. We weren't mature whole adults showing up, because once you up-level all of that stuff and you become a source of love, approval, and security to yourself, then you detach from people that behave atrociously or narcissistically, or even people stuck in victimization, and you say, you know what, that's just not my reality. I can allow you to be whoever you are because that has no impact on who I'm being, and I don't need to change you or fix you or make you be anything in order for me to be whole because I'm already whole. Changes everything in our life, and we're no longer precarious and dependent and trying to force other adults to be a parent that we didn't have. We stopped doing that. We become that parent, that partner to ourselves. And then we start partnering up with other people that are also whole and evolutionary and orientated around personal growth and evolution. So I really hope this has helped, and I hope that it's answered this question for you. And please read my article if you haven't, because that's going to help you a lot too. So if you like my videos, I would love you to like, comment, and share, and please subscribe to my channel because that helps support the Thriver orientation so much. And if you haven't as yet accessed my free resources, which is so much, it's 2 free ebooks, a 16-day series, and also notifications of all of my articles, radio shows, and videos. You can do that by clicking on the button that appears on this video. And I would love you ultimately to come and join me in my next 3 keys to thriving after narcissistic abuse 3-hour tele-seminar, where you get to apply deep quantum tools, which is quantum freedom healing, to locate your subconscious programs that have been unconsciously generating abuse, to up-level them, heal them, and free yourself into a true self function. And please know, if you cannot make the webinar live, you do receive a recording. So that's it from me for this video, and keep healing and keep smiling and keep thriving, because there is nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.